Big news for the next Call of Duty and what that's going to mean for Warzone, because there's a lot of changes with the news that came out that not this year's title, but next year's Call of Duty is going to be delayed a year. We'll have a 2-year life cycle for Modern Warfare 2. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're brand new and want to find your way back, subscribe with notifications on. Just a heads up, my Gamer Advantage blue light glasses are currently discounted on their new frames as well as lenses. You can use code JGOD at checkout or the link near the top of the description. There are a lot of things that happen as a result of this news. Number one you have is obviously the Treyarch title is being delayed. There's some good with that, which is obviously they get an extra year to work on the game. Normally they get about 2.5 years to 3 years. Now they're going to be pushing that out and have 3.5 to 4 years to work on that specific game and the DLC over that lifespan where they continue to work on it. But that gives Call of Duty an extra year. For the past few years, at least for about 4 or 5 years, every title has essentially felt rushed. It comes out, it doesn't have all the features, the camo's broken, the challenges are broken, XYZ is broken or missing. That was a standard within Call of Duty, and now they're going to probably have that stuff that we've been waiting for on day one. So something like ranked play, instead of it coming out like 5 months into the game's life cycle or whatever, it could come out in the first 3 weeks when the first season starts, something along those lines. So that's a huge plus. If they execute, that's the key, right? A lot of times if you give somebody more time, they just push it off and then they get in that crunch time. And I hope that doesn't end up being the case, because Treyarch usually puts out good Call of Duties with a lot of content, with features. The colors look good. And obviously now they've had more time to work with the newer engine that Modern Warfare 2019 introduced, with the different weapon sounds, the mechanics, the audio, the visuals, all the good stuff that represents the engine while maintaining fun elements of gameplay. So that extra time, hopefully they'll have a fully developed zombies and you know, different modes and all this like good stuff comes from that. Imagine having an entire extra year on a Call of Duty, because a lot of times by the time the year's life cycle's up, the game is fully polished, looks good, and it's like it could play well, but it should have been like that on day one. So hopefully we get that. Obviously, the bad side is that if you prefer Treyarch, you're going to end up having to wait 2 years for the next title instead of 1. But you've already had to wait a year because Sledgehammer had a year. Then it'll be Modern Warfare 2. For 2 years. So now you're waiting like a total of 3 years in between titles. And this goes the same thing for zombies. The zombies experience in Sledgehammer games, at least as of this point of making this video, is atrocious. They should have never included it. They should just said, we'll focus on multiplayer and ranked play and get it going from there. And left that 100% to Treyarch to just have on their game every time that comes back around. So you'll have to wait, and there's not really anything for people that want zombies for the foreseeable future, and that's kind of depressing if you're a fan of that mode, but it is what it is. In terms of gaming, you got to find something else to fill that niche. The next thing that means is Sledgehammer Games is probably going to be out of the dev cycle. They're not going to get their own title. They've never really proven that they can make a good Call of Duty. The first title was Advanced Warfare. Even though they helped out with a bunch of other titles that were wildly successful, they performed much better in their support role. Modern Warfare 2 is still coming out this year, so they're going to have their life cycle intact where it's just this 3 years. Maybe they'll pull some talents over to have us have a polished game. Based on all the leaks and rumors, it's looking like it's going to look like Modern Warfare 2019, improved upon the aesthetics, and then maybe they'll tweak some gameplay elements to make the game a little bit more fun to actually play instead of just fun to look at. Normally, when they build a Call of Duty, you're going to have it for 1 year, and it's going to give you 6 seasons, each season about 2 months long, fills up the entire year. That will not get you all the way to the next game. So likely what they're going to do is year 1, 6 seasons, year 2, 6 seasons. But I don't think they've necessarily planned 100% for that. I think they expected Treyarch's game. Maybe internally they knew this information way sooner, and they've already been working on year 2 season, 6 seasons of content for Modern Warfare 2 when it drops later this year, and then that content will be used to support Warzone 2. And it'll also be there to support the Call of Duty League, because they're going to be playing the same Call of Duty for 2 years in a row, which really hasn't happened ever before. So to give them some stability in terms of rosters, players, but that's a whole other story that I'm sure we'll get into when that time comes around and they're playing the game again for a second year with those same players that did well. They're gonna have an expectation of how the game's gonna be played. So that brings us to Warzone 2, which I believe is their main focus now. Regardless of them coming out with titles every so often, Warzone and Warzone 2 are their main focus going forward. Maybe with COD Mobile tied in there for their Battle Royale or whatever. That is their main focus because so many people are playing this free-to-play game and spending money on microtransactions and funneling that through. And the store makes so much money for the game. I don't know why people buy them until they change the mechanics on blueprints. It doesn't really make sense to, but to each of their own. So if Warzone 2 launches in early 2023, maybe March on the 3-year anniversary of Warzone, maybe they do something like Fortnite where they take the server down, they kick it back up, and Warzone 2 is there, and there's all kinds of new map content, everything from Modern Warfare 2, and there's no really telling if they're going to go ahead and keep the old content and bring it forward, or just go ahead and start off with Modern Warfare 2 from scratch, and those are the only 40-ish guns or however many guns are going to be in that game will be the ones you have, and essentially everything else is vaulted unless you decide to go play Warzone. Load up a different app. Maybe it'll be on the Modern Warfare, and then the other one will be on the Modern Warfare 2 app, or however they're going to do it, because that's just way too many things at that point. They're going to essentially vault everything to leave it in the past, and all the old stuff will still be able to be used on Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, Vanguard, and Warzone 1. And then Warzone 2 is a new chapter. At least that's the way everything is sounding. And then we're going to be able to get a fresh start from scratch. But the delay in pushing Treyarch's game might make it so that Warzone 2 gets a little bit more time to be baked and finished closer to the normal launch window for Call of Duty titles. October, November, we get Warzone 2. And then they're going to support that content with the content of Modern Warfare 2 seasonal passes for those 12 seasons, first 6 and second 6, and then you'll get new weapons and all that stuff. And then when the Treyarch title comes, then they'll integrate that stuff in. But it sounds like they've built the Warzone 2 engine to be able to be capable for integration and building the Treyarch title with that engine. So everything is meshed better than the Cold War and Vanguard integrations, which weren't necessarily flawless. So unfortunately, what that also means based off of this is I don't think MW2 is going to be integrated into Warzone at all. And that's kind of been the leaks and the rumors. And that means that you're not going to get really any new content for Warzone 1. Other than, I know there's still supposed to be dropping some new weapons for Cold War, which will eventually be added to Warzone. And then there's all the Vanguard weapons for this entire season. But once MW2 drops, there will probably be almost no new content in Warzone all the way until Warzone 2 launches, other than the seasonal patch update and some maybe one-off weapon here or there. I don't think they're going to be supported with full seasons. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. I would say they would drop another map, but that doesn't necessarily make sense if Warzone 2 drops a few months later. So I don't know. It's kind of in a limbo. I'm really interested to find out what they do, if they're able to execute it, and if more time equals better Call of Duty, or more time equals the longer you have to wait until the next one comes out because maybe you don't like the current one. Let me know in the comment section. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.